Wagwan Sanjuchi here. It's been a while since I've spoken about or even reviewed any of the Boruto anime, so today we'll be talking about Boruto Naruto Next Generations episode 165. My thoughts and I guess to a degree more of a repetition of my thoughts on the Boruto anime in general, because that point is going to come up time and time again. It's just unavoidable. But anyway, of course, we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers, so before we get into it, I'd appreciate if you guys support the channel, subscribe, leave a like, and comment. Of course, let's have a discussion about the episode, and let's get right into it. So episode 165, the quadruplet's duty. Honestly, I thought it was actually a decent episode, and especially since I haven't covered a lot of the most recent episodes, I have to say, generally speaking, I've been like, they've been okay to a good for me generally speaking, but it still gives off that Boruto anime vibe, if I'm being honest, where a lot of the stories feel really self-contained, and for the most part, even though they're canon, quote unquote, they still give off the vibe of stalling for time for the Boruto manga to actually build up, because there's no other choice. They start covering the manga like that, then I mean, it's only a matter of time before they catch up, so they need more material to work with. This episode features Hiruga, one of the quadruplets from the land of Haze, essentially stalling for time for the last sibling to escape with the Hashirama Cell to the land of Haze. Now, honestly, that's basically the episode, because most of the runtime is really and truly centered on Hiruga, who's using what I must say is one set of interesting jutsus, one of the interesting set of jutsus that we've gotten over the course of these last few episodes, with one of the other siblings using a similar jutsu in the last 163 and 164, where it seems like the jutsus are rooted in their origins, are based off like beings, or you know, their origins stem from otherworldly origins, to say the least. Similar to the Reaper Death Seal, that comparison was also made in the last few episodes, so this jutsu actually is similar to all of that. Now, the jutsus in themselves, they all focus on actually killing the user at the end of the day, similar to Reaper Death Seal. The jutsus themselves aren't, I wouldn't say they're like super interesting, but it did catch my attention, and brings up a pretty good point. It gets me curious to know if we'll get to see more of those jutsus being used. Obviously, they're forbidden jutsu. But anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic here. Now, the episode features or focuses mostly on Hiruga actually stalling for time for his brother to escape the land of Haze, as I said. Now, this episode it highlights, I would say, the humanity of Boruto, as well as a theme or topic that the Boruto anime brings up time and time again, which is only natural, and it's the contrast between the lives of the persons who have grown up in peacetime in the great nations versus the characters or the persons in the Naruto universe who, despite the advancements in the world since the 4th Great Ninja War, they still are living in poverty, or for the most part, their lives are a complete like 180 when you compare it to the persons living in the great nations. And this is a theme I think that's played out. It's been, I wouldn't say it's subtle, but it hasn't been beaten over our heads, but it's been brought up in some shape or form in the Boruto anime on multiple occasions. Now, I like this, but it's more of a dual-edged sword for me where this episode is concerned, because the thing is, I like it when you have protagonists or characters on the, you know, the good side, quote unquote, and I like it when antagonists actually come in and actually highlight the hypocrisies of the organization or the system that the main characters or the good guys are a part of, but probably are more than likely ignorant of at the same time. And this episode, through the dialogue between Boruto and Hiruga in this episode, you get that, you naturally get that. But I think my problem is, and it goes back to the whole general problem with the Boruto anime, is that Boruto seeing this, it doesn't feel, to me, from a visceral standpoint, like a just straight feeling, it doesn't feel like it's contributing to the grand scheme of things in terms of Boruto's outlook on life, because of the nature of the Boruto anime, honestly. Like, again, if things were done in a more concise way, then yeah, it would be different, but that's not the case. Like Boruto seeing all of this, you definitely don't get that vibe from him in the manga. Like I feel like when Boruto sees characters willing to die and go this far, it feels like hasn't Boruto seen characters willing to go that far before? You see what I mean? So yeah, it just feels like a lot of the lessons and everything in the grand scheme of things doesn't contribute to the big picture because everything feels like so self-contained. But apart from that, all the negatives for the overarching Boruto anime aside, for this episode, for this arc, I feel like this episode did a decent job of, you know, highlighting the issue of the modern day issue of the shinobi world, that even though a lot of the great nations are doing well, but a lot of the nations still aren't. And you know, like just funny enough, like, yo, did anyone else get the feeling with this arc? Like, I feel like it's me alone. Like, you're watching Boruto and it's like, oh, land of Haze, never heard of that one before. Like, where are all these countries popping up from? Like Kishimoto, when you were writing this story, it's like the more I watch Boruto, it feels like the more I feel like Kishimoto didn't truly exploit the full potential of his own story, because all these different countries are popping up, and I get the idea, I get it. More like these countries are, you know, highlighted or talked about in novels or additional material, but it just feels like, yo, this whole hypocrisy that we've been talking about or highlighting in the modern Naruto age, it could have been something that could have really been played a part in, you know, the Naruto story more so, but that's not the case. So yeah. But yeah, all of that aside, as I said, this episode does give a good, it really highlights it really and truly by giving us some time with the quadruplets and just really highlighting how far they're willing to go for their country and everything. So there's that. The thing I didn't really like about this episode, like the first part seemed kind of contrived in terms of, alright, like specifics of it. We have Hiruga dragging them down with this hellish obliteration jutsu, where the caster essentially dies before his victims. So the spirits of the underworld essentially drag them, everybody down. And at the point in time before Boruto and company find out that, you know, they don't really have anything to worry about because the caster is going to die before and then the jutsu will be dispelled, I'm like, can't Sarada just use Genjutsu? I'm pretty sure Boruto can still throw his Rasengan, so like, yo, this seems pretty like, just for the sake of plot, we'll ride it out until, you know, Amoy actually comes and lets them know that Deepa is actually, you know, on his way to collect Hashirama Cell and that we actually need to work together. So it just felt a bit contrived for me there. But that aside, I think the episode pretty much did a, how should I even put it? I wouldn't say it did a good job, but right now I'm really and truly looking forward to the fight against Deepa in the next episode, I would say. Especially since based on the preview, the animation looks like it's going to be pretty good. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. So yeah. But generally speaking, this episode was good. It was a good watch for the most part. Most of the problems, as I said, really and truly stem from the fact that it's just a recurring problems with the Boruto anime in general, and for now I don't think that's going to change. But at the same time, it does do a good job of highlighting the hypocrisies or problems with the current ninja system, modern day ninja system, as well as highlighting, I think, Boruto's humanity despite you know, what everybody else would want to say on the team right now about his actions in this episode. So that was good. I think it was a good character moment for Boruto, which is still, you know, not outside of the realm of what's expected for him as the main shonen protagonist. So yeah, at the same time, so it's like, it's good but nothing new at the same time. It's within the realm of expectation. So yeah, I don't think there's anything more I can say on this. Like reviewing this episode, I kind of feel like I want to do a Black Clover versus Boruto, specifically an anime comparison or versus battle, which is a better adaptation. Let me know if that's something you guys would want me to talk about, because I'm basically at episode 50 within the Black Clover anime. So I think within the grand scheme of things, I'm at the point where I'm eligible to actually make the comparison. So let me know if that's something you guys would want to actually hear my thoughts on. But anyway, Sanju Uchiha here, people. Let me know what you think about this current arc, this episode for the Boruto anime. Of course, let me know if you're interested on the Black Clover versus Boruto anime video. Be sure to subscribe. The Boruto chapter 50 is dropping in a few days, so definitely subscribe and look out for my thoughts and review on that, as well as my monthly expectations video for the chapter, which should be dropping in a few days as well. So yeah, that's me. But anyway, Sanju Uchiha. Be sure to rate, comment, subscribe. Look out for my final thoughts on Burn the Witch, which should be dropping later as well after I finish cooking. So yeah, hope you guys are having a great weekend, great day, or whenever you're listening to this, and I'll see you guys in the next video.